The desert stretched endlessly under a canopy of stars, its silence shattered by the distant hum of an approaching storm. Sarah Kane adjusted her night vision goggles, her heart pounding as she crouched beside the shattered remains of a fence. Her target was within reach, a government facility that officially didn't exist. For years, rumors of alien archives hidden deep within Area 12 had been dismissed as conspiracy theories, but tonight, she was going to prove them wrong. Her earpiece crackled. "You've got 2 minutes before the next patrol," Alex's voice whispered. "Copy that," Sarah replied, slipping through the gap in the fence. Her boots crunched softly against the sand as she darted toward the shadowy outline of the facility. A solitary guard tower loomed ahead, its searchlights sweeping the perimeter. Timing her movements with precision, she darted past the light's reach and pressed herself against the cold steel wall. The lock on the side entrance was no match for the device Alex had provided. With a soft click, the door opened, and Sarah slipped inside. The air was colder here, sterile and humming with the faint buzz of machinery. Her pulse quickened as she made her way through the dimly lit corridors, her footsteps muffled by the thick soles of her boots. "I've got eyes on the main server room," Alex's voice came through again. "Third door on your left." Sarah nodded, even though he couldn't see her, and moved swiftly. Her destination was a reinforced door with a biometric scanner. She retrieved a glass vial from her pocket, its contents shimmering faintly. Carefully, she applied the liquid to the scanner. Seconds later, the lock beeped, and the door slid open. Inside, the room was lined with servers, their blinking lights casting eerie shadows. Sarah approached the central console, plugging in a drive Alex had programmed. As the data began to transfer, she scanned the room, her instincts prickling. Something wasn't right. The sound of distant footsteps echoed through the corridors. Sarah froze, her eyes darting to the progress bar on the screen. 70% complete. The footsteps grew louder, accompanied by voices. "Guards." She pressed herself against the wall, her hand on the holster at her side. The door burst open, and 3 men entered, their weapons drawn. Sarah moved before they could react, disarming the first guard with a swift strike and using his body as a shield. Gunfire erupted, the confined space amplifying the noise. She took down the second guard with a well-aimed shot and managed to incapacitate the third with a brutal kick to the chest. The drive beeped, signaling the transfer was complete. Sarah yanked it free and bolted from the room, her heart racing. Alarms blared, red lights flashing as the facility went into lockdown. She sprinted through the maze of corridors, her path illuminated by the strobe-like effect of the emergency lights. Reaching an exit, she skidded to a halt. Outside, the storm had arrived, lightning illuminating the desert in violent flashes. But between her and freedom stood a squad of heavily armed guards. Sarah raised her hands, pretending to surrender, as the guards advanced cautiously. Her eyes darted to the nearby electrical panel, sparks flying from its exposed wires. Timing her move with a bolt of lightning, she lunged toward it, yanking the wires free and causing a massive electrical surge. The explosion threw the guards off balance, giving her the window she needed to escape. She sprinted into the storm, the rain lashing against her face. Behind her, the guards regrouped, their flashlights piercing through the darkness. Sarah knew she couldn't outrun them for long. Her only chance lay in reaching the extraction point. "Alex, where are you?" she gasped into her earpiece. 2 minutes out, he replied. "Hold tight." Sarah ducked behind a cluster of rocks, her chest heaving. The guards were closing in, their shouts growing louder. She pulled a smoke grenade from her belt, tossing it into their path. The thick cloud of smoke gave her a momentary advantage, but it wouldn't last. Just as she prepared to make a final stand, a black helicopter emerged from the storm, its searchlight cutting through the chaos. Alex's voice came through her earpiece. "Run to the clearing. Now." Sarah bolted, the helicopter's rotors kicking up a whirlwind of sand and rain. A rope ladder descended, swaying wildly in the wind. She grabbed hold, her arms burning as she climbed. Bullets whizzed past her, one grazing her arm. She gritted her teeth against the pain and kept climbing. Once aboard, Alex pulled her inside, slamming the door shut. "You're insane, you know that," he said, his tone a mix of relief and exasperation. "You love it," Sarah shot back, wincing as she examined her wounded arm. Alex guided the helicopter away from the facility, the storm swallowing their escape. But Sarah's relief was short-lived. She pulled out the drive, her hands trembling. Whatever was on it had cost lives, and the answers it held would change everything. Back at their safe house, Sarah and Alex plugged the drive into a secure computer. The screen filled with lines of code, followed by a series of classified documents. What they saw made their blood run cold. The files detailed not only the existence of extraterrestrial life, but also a covert operation to weaponize alien technology. There were blueprints for devices capable of unimaginable destruction, along with evidence of human experimentation. "This isn't just a cover-up," Alex said, his voice shaking. "This is a war waiting to happen." Before they could process the implications, the power in the safe house flickered. A low hum filled the air, growing louder. Sarah and Alex exchanged a look of dread as the walls began to vibrate. Outside, the night was illuminated by an unnatural, pulsating light. "They found us," Sarah whispered. The hum reached a deafening crescendo, and the roof of the safe house was torn away, revealing a massive, hovering craft. Beams of light descended, scanning the room. Sarah grabbed the drive and stuffed it into a hidden compartment in her jacket. "We need to move. Now," she said, pulling Alex toward the back exit. The craft's beams followed them, disintegrating everything in their path. Sarah and Alex barely escaped, diving into a hidden tunnel that led to an underground bunker. The ground shook as the craft unleashed its fury above them. In the bunker, Sarah accessed a hidden communication terminal. They needed allies, someone who could help expose the truth. But as she tried to send the files, the system was hacked, the screen displaying a chilling message: "You cannot hide." A voice filled the bunker, calm and authoritative. "Sarah Kane, you've seen too much. Surrender the drive, and we may spare your life." "Not a chance," she muttered, initiating a secure upload to a trusted journalist. The bunker's defenses activated, automated turrets targeting the intruders above. But Sarah knew it was only a matter of time before they were overwhelmed. As the upload neared completion, Alex prepared their last resort, a prototype alien device they had stolen during a previous mission. "This thing better work," he said, activating it. The device emitted a shockwave, temporarily disabling the craft above. The upload completed, and Sarah sent the files to multiple sources, ensuring the truth would spread. As the bunker's defenses failed and the intruders closed in, Sarah and Alex stood side by side, ready to fight. They had uncovered the alien archives, but the battle was far from over. The world now knew the truth, and the fight for humanity's future had just begun.